Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. Can you tell? No, you can't tell. Here we go. Now guys, what a lot of you probably know is what we're going to be doing in this video, because you can actually see it over down there in that description area. But what a lot of you don't know is how long I have waited for this video. I have been anxiously chomping at the bit, and I give Kurt endless amounts of garbage on the channel just to tease him. Guys, this was unexpected. I just got in a package from Grimburg. Now, I don't want to waste a lot of time here, guys. I want to open this thing up. I have not opened the launcher. I wanted to do it with you guys. You're welcome. Here we go. All right, now I did open this box, admittedly, guys. So, take a look here. We've got the launcher box itself, but we were also given some other stuff. So let's see what we got in here. So this looks like accessories on it. So let's crack this open. And okay, so these look like the 16 gram, yeah, these are the 16 gram threaded CO2 cartridges. Now, from what I understand, and I will verify this, and Kurt, if you were in the chat, please feel free to answer questions, because I know I'm going to get stuff wrong probably. So I know that they'll use 16 or 12 gram, at least that's what I've been told, threaded CO2. It doesn't matter which one you use, you don't lose velocity. You lose shot count. So if you go from a 16 to a 12, you may have a couple shots less. That's about it. But it looks like in the accessory bag, there's quite a few of those. 3, 6, 9, yeah, there's like 10 of them in there. And they're all the 16 gram from what I can see. All right, so we're going to need that. Oh, we get a couple of Grimburg stickers. Check it out. Guys, once again, I've been waiting on this so long. I'm so excited. All right. Oh, we got more Grimburg stickers. All right, got the little shield. You know, that little shield looks awfully familiar with a Skully. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, now this is the... Whoa. Guys, that's ammo, but man, those feel heavy. These are called the Grimburg Jewel. Oh, the Jewel. Okay, I have heard about this ammo. These things are supposed to be like 8 grams, and I am extremely curious. So before we do anything else, I want to weigh this ammo. From what I understand, this is a ball ammo. Hang on a second here. And I want to clear my meter. And it is. It's a, man, they're just freaking heavy, guys. But it's a regular ball, just like any of the other round ball ammo. But they are, that sure enough, 7.7 grams on that one. 7.72 grams on that one. 7.67. So we're going to call it 7.7 to 8 grams on average. And listen to them, guys. I don't know if you're... They literally sound like marbles. I mean, these things, I don't know what they're made of, but they're heavy, that's for sure. All right. This is what we're going to test with. And then we're also going to fire some of our... You know that I love these inert rounds for testing. The difference is, those are 8 grams. These are 3 grams. I want to see what the velocity change is, and so do you. So, all right. You feel sorry for him? Let me tell you something about this Skully, by the way, guys. Normally on the Skully test, we're printing at anywhere between 20 and 30% infill density, so we can check and see how many layers we're getting through whenever we fire any of the launchers. But since I've heard rumors, I wanted to make sure this one was a little more solid. Guys, this is printed at 45%. This is almost 50% solid, and it's heavy. I've actually sold a couple of these to people that are out there just to set up on the shelf, because normally I wouldn't shoot something that dense, but it seems to me like we have a test for it. So, all right, let's crack this open here. Oh, I'm so excited about that. Okay, he told me they were testing with a, I don't know, it was like an orange one or something. So I'm sure this is probably the one he sent. So I want to see this myself. Ah, this is so exciting. All right. Cracking it open together here. Oh, guys, that is not the orange one. That is the awesome gray and black one. Dude, that is the one that I saw at SHOT Show and so much wanted to get a hold of. That is amazing. Now, guys, this has got what looks like a card on the front along with, okay, that is one thing that I'm liking so far, and I don't see any instruction manual, but I like the fact that you can scan this and go directly to their instruction manual online, which is really, really cool. By the way, I have done that. In fact, I did that last night kind of in preparation for this particular video. But let's check out that launcher. Oh my gosh, guys. That is solid. I mean solid. In fact, it feels, I would put that on par weight with, it's actually a little heavier than even the Byrna LE. So that's actually got some weight to it. Now it looks like we've got a little rubber piece right here. That is going to be for the bottom of the CO2 cartridge. And, oh man, I got to cut this. I got to see this. Man, I've been so excited for this video, and you guys know about that. All right. I'm going to get the box out of the way here, guys. You know what? There should be, yes, there's an Allen key. And is that the same size as every other Allen key we use? And it is. So, this is the same size Allen key that all the Umarex launchers come with. So that must be pretty standardized across the industry. So, okay, nothing else in the box but the foam. By the way, while we're doing this, the reason you guys are seeing the Overwatch sitting here. Now, you guys remember the video we just did on both of the Paradigm launchers. The Overwatch, just FYI, somebody had mentioned, the Overwatch is not for civilian. Okay, all of the parts on that are interchangeable. So the Overwatch and the PTX are almost the same gun. It's just you change out different parts on it. So, but the reason it's here is because Grimburg has a lot in common with the Overwatch. And I'll tell you why here in just a second. So, all right. So taking a look at the launcher here, guys, the way this thing is designed, it's actually extremely simple to use. It's literally idiot-proof. And I don't say that to be mean, but it really is. So this is where your CO2 cartridge goes, and it actually threads in. Then you unscrew here, and this is where your ammo loads. So what I want to do, and I can't remember by reading it if it took 5 or 6 rounds. I think it took 5. So we're going to check that. Now, before we get all froggy and somebody out there jumps up and says, it's only 5 rounds, statistically, most encounters that have to do with self-defense with a firearm are solved within the first 1 to 4 rounds. So practice with your launcher and get good with your launcher. Don't just count on the fact that you can spray and pray rounds downrange. That's not what you want to do. Otherwise, you are inviting collateral damage. You are inviting all kinds of other issues. So don't do that. All right, so we're going to unscrew the bottom here. And as I recall by watching the video, yep, there's the spring. So we're going to pull the spring out. And you can see we've got a follower here. Okay, everybody got a good look at that. Set that down. And what we're going to do is we're going to place in, I believe it's 5 rounds. So 1, 2, God, listen to those things. 3, 4, and 5. Now, I believe it is 5, guys, so I am not going to push this any further than 5. And as you can see, that spring is way up. So you have to compress that spring down like that. And then you put your top back on, just like that. Now, what I want to do, and this is something, now this is how this is going to sit. One cool thing about this launcher that's a lot like a lot of the other launchers is you don't have to worry about your CO2 ever running out or leaking because of seals, because it is not punctured until you need. So what we're going to go ahead and do next is we're going to put in the CO2 cartridge, and I'm going to show you how that works. So one of the things I do like about this, and I know I mentioned it a minute ago, I like the concept of not puncturing the CO2 until you actually need it. And you know, there are a lot of brands that actually go through that now. So we're going to take our threaded CO2. We're going to thread it in. Guys, do not cross thread. So you normally, okay, one thing I usually do whenever it comes to anything with fine threads like that, put it in, go backwards until you hear it click. Hear that? Then go forwards. That way you are 100% sure you're not cross-threading the launcher, okay? So what you want to do is you want to put it until it's snug, no tighter than that, and then put on your little cap, all right? Now the little cap serves a couple purposes. First of all, it kind of conceals the bottom of this, but number 2, it gives you the grip to be able to twist this to puncture that CO2. And that is all you need to do to get that launcher ready to go. Now, before somebody out there says, oh, it's a twist-a-puncture, and you know who you are, listen, any of these, they all have different purposes. They all have different reasons. They all have different uses. Under a stress situation, this may not be optimal for you, but there are a lot of people, and I'm talking specifically about law enforcement, that when they will switch from a lethal to a less lethal option, they've got a second because they're making that conversion. So grabbing that and twisting it is not that big of a deal. But there are other uses too, and we'll discuss that when we get back. Because right now, I want to go make Skully very unhappy. So let's go do that. We're going to go out to the range here. We've got 5 rounds loaded up of our 8-gram rounds. We're going to put it through the chrono, and let's see what it does. Here we go. All right, guys, so as you can see, we've got our range lined up here. We've got our chronograph there, and I've got our high-density Skully right down there ready. I am going to try to get a chrono reading and hit Skully at the same time. This is a little tougher than my normal shot. So we're going to give it a shot and see. So here's what we're going to do, guys. As you can see, we've got the launcher. We've got the CO2, and it's up there. It's snug, but it's not pierced all the way. And right now, we are ready to rock and roll. So as you can see, there's nothing else to this launcher. You don't have a safety, nothing like that. As long as that's not punctured, it's not ready to fire. When it is punctured, it is ready to fire. So let's go ahead and we're going to puncture our CO2. You hear that? That click? That means you're now officially punctured, all right? And I'm going to move back behind the camera like I always do. Glasses on. And I'm going to try to peg Skully. I have no idea what we can do. Now, I will tell you guys, I just noticed this up here. They must have an optic that fits on this too, because that is obviously an optic rail, and I do like that as well as the Picatinny rail, but I like that optic rail. All right, here we go. I'm going to try to peg Skully and get a reading. What? Hold on, guys. Glasses down. What? No movie magic. 335, 8 grams. High density Skully buried in the skull. That is a high density skull. Honestly, a burner would bounce off that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. High density skull. You know what? Let's try it again. Holy cow, that was loud. I haven't heard anything. I don't think I've ever heard anything that loud. All right, we're going to try it again. Get back behind the camera. Jeez. So 335 at 8 grams. Here we go again. I'm going to try to aim a little bit lower in the middle. 329. 305. 291. 291. All right, guys, hold on a minute. That's 5 rounds. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, man. Guys, that is, you know what? I'm going to try something different because I'm curious. So if we're getting penetration, and I mean penetration, at this range using that launcher in that round, I want to know what would happen if you hit it with a pepper ball. And I'm really curious about that. So here's what we're going to do. We have fired 5 rounds through on the first CO2 cartridge, all right? I'm going to load up 5 more rounds on the same CO2, and let's see what velocity we get. Hang on a second. All right, guys, we're back. I tell you what, we know what that is hitting at. Let me move the chrono out of the way, and I'm going to try to nail Skully close. I'm going to move you up here so you guys can see it. I am going to go to our 5 meters, so 15 feet, okay? So you know that normally we're firing from 3 to 5 meters. That's the normal distance in an encounter. So from here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15. All right, by the way, for the freaking naysayers, and you know who you are, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where we're firing from. Hopefully you can see me in there. Yeah, this is where I'm at, all right? So let's get back up on him. There we go. And move it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, glasses on. All right. Side of the skull. Here we go. Gee, guys, that is so freaking loud. All right. I can't even tell if I'm hitting. Whoop! I think I can see that I hit that one. All right, hold on a minute. Let me come up here. Holy, okay. What's funny is the smoke that I'm feeling is actually the powder, the inert powder left over from some of the other rounds. Guys, embedded every single round in dense Skully. Guys, this is no freaking joke. This is about as close to a ballistic skull as you can get without printing it solid. And I mean, you can actually see in there to see what I'm talking about. It is very, very dense. All right, I'm curious, one more thing. We have another side here, right? So let me load up some of those 3-gram rounds we were talking about. The 3-grammers and the powder, and I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, so since we've got the 3-gram, once again, 3-gram powder balls from our friends over at Pavashot. That's what we're going to test in this. Since it occurred to me, we got a fresh CO2 in here. What I want to do is we're going to get a chrono reading, and I'm going to try to hit Skully and get a chrono. I just want one, because we just lightened the balls from 8 to 3, and we're on a brand new cartridge. So I really want to see this. So hold on a minute. Let me get back here. All right, guys, so let's give it a shot. So I'm going to turn you up here in the front. We're going to twist to puncture. There it is. Click. And we're going to get up here and get a shot on Skully. Here we go. 423, guys. Guys, okay, that is important. You see this? This is kind of important, guys. That actually, 355. So the first shot, you saw what it did. Now, this could just be the rounds, but that second round actually broke in the launcher and actually fired out. So let's try a third. All right, hold on a minute here. As Skully rolls toward us. Guys, you think Skully's not having a rough day? Okay. That is a less than lethal. That is a pepper round. It embedded in there before it exploded. Velocity much? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Well, I got one more round, so hold on a minute. All right, let's go for dead center of his face. Hold on a minute here. By the way, we're way back here again. You guys can probably see that. All right, here we go. Dead center of his face. And it broke that one too. Okay. And we are out. What do we think of the Grimburg Gavle? Guys, okay. First off, clearly this thing has way too much power for those particular pepper balls. You actually saw out of the 5 we fired, 3 of them ruptured. I mean, on the way out, there's just so much pressure coming out of it that it just ruptured them. So on this particular launcher, unless Grimburg has their own pepper balls, and I don't know if they do or not, I think I would probably stick to running solids in this, those Grimburg Jewels for sure. And you saw what kind of impact those had. Guys, that Skully is no joke. You could crack it with a hammer and you're not going to break it. If that thing embedded that deep in a dense Skully like that, it is, I don't care what you're shooting at. I don't care if they're coming at you, if they're wearing clothing, they're going to feel the impact of the kinetic round coming off of this launcher. And I think I know why. So I'm going to pull out this CO2 cartridge. This is a used one. Guys, I want you to look at the size of the hole that punctures in that CO2 cartridge. That is a huge hole. And that is allowing a tremendous amount of pressure to come out of this and into this launcher. And every time you pull that trigger, guys, that trigger pull might be 5 pounds. It feels like it's anywhere between 5 and 7, but it's very, very, very light and easy to use. Also, now the twist method. Once again, I know there are going to be people out there that say, I don't like the twist method. This boot they give you, first of all, is really very grippy. So it's real easy to twist this thing. But if I had one of these in my car as a self-defense launcher, or in my house as a self-defense launcher, or even if you were to carry it day to day. That twist is very little, and I mean, it's very simple to do. It's not hard to puncture. In fact, it's actually quite simple to puncture. And once you do, man, it's click and you are ready to fire. There is nothing else you got to do but point, aim, and pull. That's all there is to it. The truth is, guys, when I talked to Grimburg about this, I knew just by what I had read and people that I have talked to, what kind of power this thing puts out. But until you're behind it, guys, you cannot comprehend how freaking loud and how powerful this thing actually is. That Skully, just confidentially, you me in the wall, I didn't think it was gonna dent it. I actually had this weird feeling it was gonna bounce off of the thing, and it didn't. It embedded into it, and that is crazy to me. Guys, I'm going to put links down there to Grimburg for you guys. That way, if, and this is nothing to do with me, guys. If you want to go check out Grimburg, talk to Kurt. Hopefully he'll be in the chat here answering questions about this thing. But that is a phenomenal launcher. I honestly, that's probably one of the best launchers I've seen in a long time. Certainly for power, it's the king of the hill coming out of the box. Now, what do Paradigm over here and these guys have in common? Guys, engineering. You can tell the way this was built. This was built by an engineer with an engineer's mind thinking about engineering. The next version of this, and I don't even know if this has got it because there's nothing in here saying it, but the next version of this has actually got a magnetic detent, which I have never even considered, and basically takes those balls and holds them into place without having to have a rubber seal to hold the balls in place to fire them out of. That is actually crazy technology to me. So this one may have it. I don't know. I haven't torn it down, nor do I intend to anytime soon. I have a lot of videos to do with it. But that's something that if Kurt is here, you guys can certainly answer that down in the description area there. But yeah, engineering. This is one of the best engineered launchers I've ever seen, and it feels solid. You are holding a solid piece of equipment. By the way, okay, one more gig for Kurt. One more, just one more. That was a brake test. So Skully is typically we print him out of that 20%. You guys know that, so that we can see at 20%, you've got 40 layers of plastic to get through before you get through the back of the skull. And you got a thick layer in the front, thick layer in the back. That is typically where we're at for any of the HTP 50s, TR 50s, or whatever, even fully modified. And now fully modified running ZRAM will go completely through the skull. You guys have seen that before. The solid supply went completely through. This thing, it wouldn't even be a challenge. I don't even think it would slow it down, frankly. Not at that rating on this. So, yeah. Guys, this is a success. I'm going to throw their links down there. Go check them out. If you have questions, ask them in the description down here. And you better believe this is the first of many, many videos featuring that launcher, for sure. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. I have another big one planned for you. It just keeps coming. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.